But that's all I've got for my NFL coverage. Let's do a little NBA before we get up out of here, man. Mr. Morant. Morant, news came out yesterday that he was officially suspended by the NBA for 8 games. Now, kind of like when you go to prison for a little bit, he will have time served. So he really is only going to miss the next 2 games. He's eligible to come back Monday against the Dallas Mavericks. Now, Adrian Wojnarowski and the Memphis Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins said do not expect him to play Monday, as they're going to make this not to rush Ja back, because not only is he hasn't played a game in 10 days, he hasn't even picked up a basketball in 10 games. So they're going to get him ready. But I have a couple thoughts on this matter. I watched his interview with Jalen Rose this morning. Couple things. One, Ja is suffering a lot of losses right now. His debut signature shoe at Nike is still not out, which is interesting. Something that Nike obviously is upset about because they ditched Kyrie for him. His Powerade ad got shelved, and because of these games missed and the loss of pay, he's lost $700,000 already, and he's going to be losing $40 million because of something in his contract to do with the amount of games he's missed and not being able to be on certain teams. He's going through a lot right now. Now, my thing is this. I felt Jalen Rose was the best person to interview Ja. Number one, I think Jalen Rose is really, really good at his job. He's been doing his media career has been great ever since he retired about 20 years ago. And he's also one of my favorite players. I just love Jalen Rose as a player, not only the sign that he had with Indianapolis, but I loved him when he was with the Bulls. In a little short time, he was with the Bulls. I'm a big Jalen Rose fan. But I feel like this interview could have been done better. First of all, Jalen, I love you, man, but Jesus, that was a police-ass question you asked Ja. So whose gun was it? I was like, is this fucking DJ Vlad interviewing him? Like, what the hell is going on? And I'm not here to say whether Ja is sincere or not, because that's not my place to say that. But you can 100% tell that this interview was PR'd up and was written by the NBA word for word, because none of it made sense. I didn't really feel like, oh, okay, this dude has really learned from his mistakes. But maybe he is. He's only 23. You know, these younger dudes, they process things differently. They the emotions sometimes is a little different. And I know I sound like an old head sound like an old head when I say this, but it is what it is. But I think that we need to move on from this, man. Ja's a young guy. He's 23. And like I said, I'm not abolishing him of anything. He did some stupid ass shit. And I don't even like the thing, well, what were you doing at 23? Well, I wasn't beating up teenagers and brandishing guns in a strip club. So, I don't want to give him a pass, but at the same time, I think that he has learned his lesson here. He hasn't played. He's missed 10 days. He's going to miss 8 or more games. He has lost millions of dollars. His 2 current endorsements are kind of on hold right now. And now he's really being looked at as kind of not like a failure, but like he's letting not just his team down, but the NBA down, because he can be one of the faces of this league. We're about to enter this transition period of getting away from the old guard of the LeBron James, the Stephen Curry's, the Kevin Durant's. He can be one of the faces of the league, and I really feel like that's why Adam Silver was like, let's just get him out there and take care of this right now. But I feel like he's paid his debt. And it's time to move on. I'm rooting for Ja. Like I said, I'm a big fan. I'm not don't want to destroy him. The dude didn't kill anybody. Nah, he could have killed somebody, but he didn't kill anybody. I think he learned his lesson. Let's move on. Let's worry about him playing basketball. Let's see about how far he can take this Memphis Grizzlies team. And I just feel like sometimes we're doing too much. And even with the Memphis Grizzlies saying, well, they're not going to stay overnight in cities like Atlanta and Miami. It's like, dude, like you act like he did like some John Wick shit. Like, let's chill the fuck out for a minute, man. Let's keep this in perspective. He's a young dude. He fucked up, but hopefully he'll learn and go and take this and go even higher heights, kind of like Allen Iverson did, man. So I'm rooting for Ja. But that interview was cringeworthy, man. It was cringeworthy, but I understand it had to happen. But let's just move on from this and focus on the hoops, man. Last topic before we get to my Goofy Mog of the week, Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Bar none. Like this at this point, it shouldn't be a conversation. He's the best player in the NBA. He's been the best player in the NBA for, I believe, the last 2-3 years. And I said, not just on this show the last couple weeks, not just on my podcast, Ball Don't Lie, last couple weeks, not just on Twitter. I said that we got to start acting like Nikola Jokic doesn't have this MVP on lock. And while I do believe that he's still going to come home with the trophy, and the Nuggets are just going through one of them late season lows because they've been dominant so damn long, kind of like what the Celtics are going through right now. You know, I'm way more concerned about the Celtics. Giannis is coming. Giannis is coming. The Milwaukee Bucks, man, they've been on a tear since the month of February. We all know about their 16-game win streak. They are 50-19. They are the only team in basketball with 50 wins. They are 4 clear of the Denver Nuggets and 2.5 clear of the Boston Celtics. And this has been with dealing with a lot of injuries. They've been trying to integrate Chris Middleton back in. You know, Drew Holiday has really helped hold the fort. You know, they've been doing great with having Jay Crowder. I really love what he's brought to the team. And can we get some love from Brook Lopez, who I think should be the defensive player of the year? He's been great. And all that, he's out here bodying. This dude, man, in his last couple games, on the 14th, on Tuesday, against the Suns, 36 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. The night before that, 46 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. He missed 3 games prior to that. And then he had 23, 13, and 9, 34 and 13, 31, 7 and 6, 33, 15. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. And I don't know if he will win it because we might be getting greatest player in the league fatigue. And I do feel a lot of the conversation around Jokic is unfair. And let's just keep it a buck. A lot of y'all just saying this because he white. And I understand he white, but we ain't gotta lie about the skill. Jokic is one of the best players in the NBA, whether you want to disagree about it or not. I love Giannis. I love Jokic. I love Embiid. Embiid ain't getting that MVP, dog, and it's really just because of how the Sixers are playing. But I do think it's going to go down to the wire now. If Giannis can keep playing at this level and the Milwaukee Bucks finish with the number 1 overall seed in the NBA like I feel they will, there might be a discussion here, man. So Giannis might shut me up, but I still think that Jokic is going to win it, but it's going to be close, man. But also, the MVP discussion, like everything on NBA Twitter, is becoming exhausting. I don't like it. I think a lot of people aren't realizing this is a regular season award. Now, the NBA, they have some part to blame in this with them, you know, giving the award out like doing the conference finals. But let's just be smarter when it comes to these conversations, man. Accept Jokic for what he is. Now, there's a lot of pressure on him this offseason. If him and Denver don't at least get to the NBA finals, there's gonna be a lot of conversation.